All right, so Ace of Wands energy at the beginning of the day there. That's this energy right here, guys. So we had this rally halted by a decline through key support. And then around the open, we have this. Uh, Actually, this looks more like the rally halted by key decline through key support. And then we have this move higher, full retracement. That's the art card right at the open, followed by this sideways S formation that seems to be forming. And this yellow translucent highlight indicates a correlation to the preview card from the prior day, which was the Ace of Wands, indicating this notable rally on a one-day chart, offering opportunity to open up a short position or close a long position. It looks like more in this case it's to open up a short position. So it should be mixed kind of in the midst of this rally to the upside, and then we reach this high. It looks like there's a high and a low within really close time proximity to each other, because we've got this death card and it's correlating to a high. So what we probably have is a really significant decline off of a peak here in the first. It could be as early as the first half hour, but anywhere between the open here and let's say it's got to be before 11:45. I mean, excuse me, before 10:45. We should see a peak, and I'm thinking it'll probably be higher than where we started the day, because we don't really have a correlation to a high or a crest of any kind here, indicating we probably have a higher price level at this peak. There is, you want to be careful, there is another prominent crest, another correlation to a high here at the end of the day, as well as an Ace of Wands correlation from the prior day. So there's actually 2 day trades in here, right? There's a day trade here in the morning involving this, matter of fact, this open here is where you would have wanted to open up a long position, and then you look to close that long position. There's actually a few day trades. You look to close that long position at this peak. I might even close it, like, because we hit that line right there. I might even close it at this point. It's a little early. We're going to see, like I said, we're going to see a sideways S formation. Usually the sideways S formation is to the downside, like overall, but I'd imagine that there are going to be cases, I haven't really seen any, but this might actually be one where we have a sideways S formation, but it's like to the upside. And what do I mean by sideways S formation? I mean within a channel you have a decline from resistance to support, support back to that resistance, resistance back to that support. Usually it's horizontal, sometimes it's at an angle. And when it's on an angle, it's almost always to the downside. Hey Robert, good morning. I think it is probably like a sideways. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, and we should see like another bit of downward. And then once we make this peak here, I would probably this is a good spot here, guys. If you got in at a long position early in the morning, if you got in at a good price, this is probably a good spot to get out for a day trade. We might go higher than this. We might go into 450. I don't think we will, though, because if we did that, we'd probably have some sort of breakout. Yeah, originally I was thinking we were going to go higher than that, but thinking about it, if we do that, it would probably turn into a breakout. I don't see a breakout there. I see a turnaround into a trough here, a significant trough around 1045-ish. So good spot to close that long position. You could open up a short position as well. I would open up a partial just in case we do go higher, but I think we're probably going to turn around here. A short position for another day trade, which you could close maybe at 10:45, or maybe even actually around noontime, closer to noontime. And then there's a risky long day trade here where in the Empress decline you could open up a long position and probably close it around the close, but it is a risky one, so I'd probably steer clear of that one. It's a little vague as to where the close is. Like there's a chance that we just go deeper in the last hour, but there's also a chance based on this correlation to the Ace of Wands that we and this high correlator here at the end of the day that we have like a big pop right at the very end of the day out of a low. Yeah, there's looks like there's a bit of some like volatility there around that sideways rotation in the last hour. There's like a sharp drop and a rally into key resistance, and then there's like this push to maybe in the before the pre post market this move to push the upper end of a range higher. Yeah, and there you go. There's price swings right there. I didn't even notice that price swings. That's the price swing card. So volatility, fast sudden move higher, declining with consecutive declining sideways fluctuating decline preceding a rally, which is probably these bullish price swings, and then more decline into sideways rotation along key support here in that last hour. This is like pushing the upper end of a range higher, though. It's like weird. I'm so sorry, guys. This is pretty significant. The sneak preview on the court or the cross reading congruency with the failure card here first thing in the morning. Interesting. But then we have this. All right. So what I think is if we end up at lows at the end of the day, then this move to push the upper end of a range higher is probably taking place over the weekend, and this science card is going to be like a key price level. So if we end up near lows, it may be that we come back to like this. Didn't I mark off a science card not too long ago? Boom, didn't I? Right? Oh, that's a Princess of Swords. Well, it could be that. It could be that price level right there. Let's look at it from this scale. Yeah, it could be this price level right here that like we open near on Monday in the probably in the pre-market. This is one scenario. I'm not saying for certain this is happening. I'm kind of working it out. But there's the science card here in the pre-market, and then we decline pretty hard. We probably decline to lows for the day as we move into the open, or maybe just after the open we decline into lows. Probably a little bit of both. But I think we'll be higher than. See how this happiness card here. It's so strange. Right, because we've got happiness here. That could really indicate like that Friday is lower than Monday pretty notably. And let's take a look at the 1 month again and see if that plays out. Yeah, so we go from like this trough into like a higher levels on Monday. And then we've got that cross reading congruency right there. Where is it? The indolence card here on the 4th. Indolence here on the 5th, right? So we go from the Knight of Wands. Which I believe was, it's right here on the, it's also on the 4th. It's kind of like blended together. So so it looks to me like this a rally on the 4th. We probably open higher, have a sharp decline in the morning, and then we turn around and we go pretty bullish into the rest of the day. Interesting. There's a pretty significant low there. Ah. Sorry guys, this might totally be different. Let me do some quiet mind questions. So there's some interesting behavior. I think we open higher, we decline really significantly, and we find ourselves, we open higher than where we close. I should say on today on Friday we open higher than where we close on Friday, right? So then we decline into the open or into just after the open. There's like a trough there, probably a lowest low for the day. Rally might come back to a low there. Pretty choppy overall, but this is interesting. I'm picking up on like there's two things. All right, so this is how we're gonna go. Sorry, guys. So this is how we're gonna go. So there's two ways that this could play out, and it's dependent on where we open, right? If we open at an important technical price level that's higher than where we close, it's most likely going to be around here, around this Princess of Swords. And then if we open significantly lower, if we open significantly lower, we rally up and then we come back into to lows. And the low here is, in that case, is probably this low around like 1 to 2 o'clock. In that case, is going to be probably lower than the price levels of the low of today, basically. So those are the two ways it could play out. Sorry if I confuse people, but there was a lot of back and forth going on, so it's kind of like thinking it out loud. Hey Ellen, hey AV, hey it was luck. I am Robert, but it's more like December 11th through the 13th. I mean, it'll impact the market through the 15th, probably into the 18th. Let me make sure I'm not getting that confused with January. Yeah, the 11th and the 13th, and what's interesting is those surround the 12th, and the 12th is a new moon, um, and the day that Mercury goes retrograde, basically in the Pacific. So this is right on the edge of Mercury retrograde. Ay 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 ay, dude, this is gonna be. This is definitely. There's something gonna happen here. So we're definitely topping off here, guys. I would, if I got into a long position for that day trade early in the morning here, even if you got in like here, I would say hopefully if you got in here, you added a little bit more in that midst of the decline, understanding that you were a little early. But in either case, you'd want to get out of that long position for a day trade here. You could also open up a short position for a day trade here. Remember, if you're utilizing option, ooh, hold on a sec. That was something else. I wonder if something just happened. Was there like a piece of news that just came out? This is very interesting. However, I did originally say we were going higher than that price level there. Uh, I don't know if it'll. I don't think it'll be a breakout though. So up here, guys, I would utilize this. This is. I would be getting into a short position here. If I didn't get out of my long, I'd definitely get out of my long here. And into a short position, and we should see this drop here, a pretty significant move to the downside to an important support level on a one-day chart at least, probably on a multi-day chart. Dell went down after earnings. Interesting. Guidance on it. Let's see. So there's a lot of price change here today. Tomorrow, also erratic behavior, like up and down. I'm so sorry, guys. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we'll revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. So I'd look out for an opportunity there. It does look like on Monday we have a pretty bullish day. Tuesday, pretty bearish. Wednesday's that opportunity in the midst of a rally to open up a short, and then Thursday of next week, you could probably close that short there on Thursday. So opening it up on Wednesday in the midst of a rally, closing it on Thursday in the midst of a decline. That was for Dell, if I didn't specify. Hermes, no barking, buddy. Hermes, come here, buddy. Hermes. Sorry, guys. I gotta grab my dog. Hey, what are you doing? We don't bark. We're not barkers here. You know, funny guy, we're not barkers in this house. We don't bark. We're not barkers. Right? Okay. That's better. This is just that moving higher after I said that was just granting more opportunity, guys. Like, look at the RSI, we're close, and it's like an overbought peak that we sell off from, right? A near overbought peak that we sell off from. This is pretty close to overbought. Actually, Hermes, go up here, will you? You always want to sit right in my face. Will you stop it? So you mean by come back? I presume you mean back from this the significant drop that we just had here. So like back to 30 50 price level in the next 2 to 3 months, or are you looking for a higher price level? I don't think we do see a higher price level. Well, I don't think we see that 30 50 for a few months, 2 to 3 months. It looks like there was an I got a no for that. Oh, interesting. So does that mean it's anchored to the line? Hermes, come on, buddy. Oh yeah, Hermes, you're too much, man. What are you doing? Appreciate you guys bearing with me as I learn this stuff, learn how to use TradingView, which is clearly like, as far as I can tell, the best um, charting platform out there. It's also a little pricey. Oh, and I left out. Alan, I didn't miss your question. I'm just I got to take care of the people with the stars. They're paying for priority answers, so I'll come back to you. Don't worry. Wait, that is not a very pretty chart. Oh, let's see. Overall trend direction of CVS throughout Q1 of 2024. Looks like sideways rotation. There's a support level that we're kind of like rotating sideways along throughout the first quarter. And then Q2's overall trend direction for CVS. There's like an important price level there on a multi-year scale, or at least a year-to-date scale. I should say probably multi-year. It looks like we go from support in the first quarter to an important resistance in the second, but we don't like break through that resistance. We come back down, so it's kind of like sidewaysy in the first half of the year for CVS. So you're wanting to know if this is the low, like the lows are in the September October was the low for algo, or if we're going to see lower than 12 cents in December. Oh, that's so dope. I can like I don't think you can do that with E-Trade. That's so dope. Okay, well, it dipped below 12 cents in December. Yes, I got a yes for that. Pretty affirmative yes. There we go, guys. So we've turned around. We should go all the way into an important trough here. It may not necessarily be. I think it actually is. I think it'll be lower than the low we had in the morning. There's that sideways S. So if you're just hopping on, guys, we were talking about Monday morning, and there's two possible scenarios that I see playing out. It's a little difficult to determine which of them it is, but we should be able to determine which one of them it is on Monday morning based on where we open. So if we push over the weekend, we push the upper end of a range higher. My sense is that we will likely come back to this price level of the Princess of Swords at 458.46 ish. And that's very likely what will happen if we have a low at the end of the day. If we push the upper end of a range higher at the end of the day, then I would say that probably really indicates a lower price level. But if we open higher, right, we push over the weekend, push the upper end of a range higher, and we open higher at that price level, Princess of Swords, then we'll decline into the open, and just a little bit after the open, there'll be a low. Probably, and then probably the revisiting of that low here between 1 and 2. But if we have a significant drop, which could take place too, because we've got this like cross-street incongruency with the failure card, this pretty strong indication of something taking place here in the last hour based on the tiger's eye, what do you call it, pendulum. We probably go from a trough here to a peak at the end of the day, and then we drop over the weekend. So if we open lower over the weekend and we don't push the upper end of a range higher, that would be the other scenario. And we open lower at a lower price level, important on a 1 month scale minimum here. If we do that, then I would say probably around 1 to 2 o'clock is going to be lower price levels than the lows of today. Back to the first scenario where if we push the upper end of a range higher over the weekend and we open higher, this low here is probably going to be the same price level as the low of December. Hopefully that's helped bring some clarity to what I was fumbling over before. You're welcome. CRM. Remainder of the day's overall trend direction for Salesforce CRM. Looks like we decline the remainder of the day. Well, we decline. There's a decline in the remainder of the day that offers an opportunity to open up a long position or close a short position. It may not last the whole day. Sometimes when you see the Princess of Cups, it's kind of like a U shape, or like there's a reversal in there sometimes. Usually it's either straight to the downside or it's to the downside and then to the upside at the end. But I think it's going to be to a support level, and then maybe right at the very end of the day we have like a pop higher. Coin for next week. All right, so we had a highest high right on the cusp of January, February, indicated here. A highest high in March. This is the 1 year for coin. We had a lowest low here. Well, actually, technically, you could say the lowest low was first thing in the beginning of the year, and that Ace Princess of Cups really indicates that. But this was done so long ago. Oh my God, this was done September 3rd, 2022. And then we have higher price level. I missed this unicursal as a high, right, which was here in July, and it was like a fake out. There's the devil card following it, taking us back into a pretty important trough. And then it looks like prominent peaks here in September. That's probably the reversal right there. Prominent peak in October. Notice how we don't have lowest lows here in September and October like so many of the other 1 years, and it doesn't indicate it here either. And then we have a highest high in November. Looks like we sell off from that highest high in November here in December, but then go higher towards the very end of the year. Yeah, it looks like we go higher into early January or into mid to late January even. I didn't do the full markup for Coin 2024, so there's a lot of missing information. But what I'm looking at looks like maybe there's a good chance there's a highest high for the year there around the cusp of February March. At least our first highest high, probably our highest high. But I have to do the full reading to be able to know that for sure. Is Tesla bullish until 5th, 6th? on the 30th. Looks like we were off a day on that. Ended up being on the 29th. Oh no, I do have it here on the 29th. We were right on point with that. Damn. Nailed that. Um, Not really. It's not straight bullish. It's pretty mixed. Like there's a lowest low for the month and a highest high for the month next week, or I should say thus far. And see how we've headed significantly lower. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. I said we'd see that low before 10:45. Looks like we're coming in right on time there. Actually, that might have been a no. It was a maybe. That's a no for $20 in 2024. But the original question gave me a maybe, hinting that it may reach $20 though, just not in 2024. So let me take a look. Looks like it does by 2020, the end of 2025. Hey, Proof. Will ETH go higher in December? Well, that fortune card actually indicates a high there. That combined with this kind of breakout ruin. Do we go higher in December? Doesn't look that way, no. Where's that sun card? Do we have the sun card here? Yeah, it looks like it goes lower. Pretty notable. Pretty clearly lower to me in December. We don't see this sun card cross reading congruency anywhere. We do see the truce card correlate here. That's the high correlator here at the beginning of the month, and we've got the ace of swords and the ace of wands, both very toppy kind of energies, indicating highs as well. So that's pretty strong indication that we have a high for the month of December here around the first three trading days there. Appreciated, Ellen. Much needed, much appreciated. Hey Dune, if you don't want to day trade the S&P 500, should you hold a short or a long position for next week? Yes. You could hold either one. And depending on whether or not you have a high enough tolerance, risk tolerance, would determine if you would make money, because we're going to have a highest high and a lowest low thus far, a highest high thus far and a lowest low thus far for the month of December here in the first week. So, like, based on where we are right now, right, we're going to see a higher price level first, and then we should go into a lower one around the 6th, 7th. I love when I can just say yes. But if you're wondering, I'm in a short position right now. I have options, put option that expires out in January 5th. I'll probably sell it well before then, but I didn't want to like worry so much and be stressed out. It's more of like my trade going into retrograde. All right, guys. With that said, I'm gonna roll. Thank you all so much for watching. All right, so there was that turnaround to a low, right? That was the ace and that took place at what? 10:30. So it ended up coming in lower, but it came into roughly the same low, and that was at 10:30. Like I said, it would happen before 11:45. So we have that turnaround there, and that's that ace of discs turnaround. I don't think this move to the upside is going to last very long. However, we're going to get some volatility and then more decline, volatility midday, and then more decline into the 1 to 2 o'clock hour, and then probably bullish price swings into the close. If we end up lower at the close, then very likely we're going to have a move higher over the weekend, pushing the upper end of a range higher, taking us to probably this price level right here in the pre-market, but then we'll decline pretty notably, probably to the same lows that we had today. However, if we don't end at lows and we end at highs and we push the upper end of a range higher here at the close, I would say very, very likely that we actually open significantly lower. In which case, this low here is probably going to be lower than the price level of the low for today. And that's what I got for you so far, guys. I'll be back on around 3 o'clock. What time is the speech? Looks like it's here midday, right? I said this yesterday. It's like it looks like there's somebody speaking midday. Some like a male leader speaking about economics or finance here midday. Nobody confirmed that, but there you go. That's what that is right there. The Knight of Swords, male ruler in the media, having to do, might even be some legalities involved. It's possible, having to do with economics and finance. So it should be some volatility there. Probably a fast send move higher before 1, and then a more decline into lower price levels around 2 o'clock, and then bullish price swings. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, and if I'm wrong, guys, then this ace of discs ends up being a high. If I'm off about this high low here, right? The high and then the low. It could be that there's a low and then a high. That's a possibility. I don't think that's the case, but if I'm wrong, that's what would happen. So it gets pretty price swingy, pretty crazy towards the end of the day, but I think probably overall to the downside. Yeah, overall to the downside it looks like. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys back around 3 o'clock. Blessings to all my angel investors. You know where to go. You know what to do. I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, and if you don't know what to do, go to our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, effectively transmuting competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill, which is the whole goal of the channel. And then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel, helping to support the channel and say thank you. It leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, my friends, makes you an angel investor of the channel. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold. Also, if you guys are wondering what these things are, there's going to be another one popping up as well. Simple Swap. This is an affiliate link. If you go through Simple Swap here, to trade altcoins, like you want to swap from one altcoin to another, the channel actually gets a little commission based on you doing that through this link. And then if you're interested in a good brokerage for your phone, a brokerage app for your phone, Webull is way better than Robinhood. We both get free shares for you signing up. All right, my friends.